Hello everyone, welcome to Redbus US channel. In this video, we'll look at the US immigration weekly roundup, for US employment-based visas around H1B, H4, green cards, and all sorts of things. This is something we've been wanting to do for many years, and has been like putting off. So I think going forward, we'll try to do a weekly summary so that you can just quickly get a sense of what's happening in the US immigration space, especially for employment-based immigration and other visas around that, right? Um, so. So we'll cover everything between March 30th and April 5th. So this is what we are looking at for this week. Quick key updates. The lottery is complete. The social media waiting is expanded. That's actually live now. So we had H1B slots open. So last week, dual proposal rule changed, and there are some other things on USCIS part as well that was released. So this is what we'll cover in this video. So do subscribe for getting regular updates if you haven't subscribed to our channel. So the first one is, H1B 2027 lottery is complete officially, and everybody are notified. In general, we have seen lottery results come up, H1B 2027 lottery results come up, starting from late last week. They were coming all the way through the weekend, but finally on March 31st, USA has made an official press release indicating that they've really officially notified everybody, and the lottery is done. So and this is the first year they're doing the wage-based weighted lottery, where they look at your wage levels, wage one, two, three, four, and all of that, and depending on that, your odds are defined, right? So the key summary from the lottery update is that the lottery is done. If you haven't heard from your employer by now, I think you have not picked in the first round. So that's what the thing is. So you need to look at your options, or what are the things are there, and all of that. So they've employed everybody. So the filing window for H1B for FY 2027 starts from April the 1st, and it's for 90 days until June 30th. So there's a new I-129 form as well that USA has released. So you have to use that. I mean, your employers will use that. So we've done the other video. You can watch that, right? So basically, there are some other additional things in that form where they capture their experience, why salary, all of that, right? So there is more information around, the new lottery. Those are what they're capturing, and also the 100K fee may apply to you if you are outside of the US. So that's the other part, right? So this is the key update. And what happens in terms of that is, once the filing window starts, your employer would actually, like, if they haven't done an LCA, labor condition application, they would have to file this on Flag website, and they will do that. And then based on that, you have to match whatever was submitted, and then use that, make a package around that, and then look at if the 100K fee is applicable or not. And then you will submit the package. I mean, your employer will submit the package. So you as an applicant, you're just going to just submit the documents, whatever your employer asks or your attorney asks. There's nothing much you can do other than that, right? There is one important thing. There is no concept of transfer in H1 registrations. Let's say somebody sponsored or somebody submitted a registration for you, and you were selected, but unfortunately, the company did lay off, or the company doesn't exist anymore. They don't want to do that. The H1B sponsorship and submit the petition. Then unfortunately, you can't transfer that registration. So this is not like, unlike an H1B petition, you can't transfer here. So it's only for that company, for you. So you can only do that, and that's a deadline. So we'll keep you posted, how things move. So, and one important thing is there is no data whatsoever that the USA has released regarding how many they've received, all of that. So we will see this data in the upcoming weeks. So we'll keep you posted on the blog, on the blog as well as on the YouTube channel. So please subscribe, so that you can get the latest updates. Now, the other thing that has happened is social media vetting expanded to another 14 new visa types. And this is something that was announced a week ago, but this is effective from March 30th, which is this week. So there are quite a few visa types that are, impacted or added up to these 14 visa types, right? A3s, K1s, Qs, all of that. So some of these are not directly related to that. But what it does is, this biggest update that has come up is going to totally like add about 72,000 new visa applicants, at the consulates who will be, subject to this additional vetting. So overall, after this new change, there will be about 1.2 million total visa applicants who will be vetted. These are as per the FA 2024 data again. So this is basically live from this week. So what it means for you, if you're an employment-based applicant, is if you're applying for a visa at a consulate, there may be some delays because there are now more things that they need to adjudicate based on this. So there'll be more 221Gs, because they don't have time. So again, H1Bs, F1s, H4s are already part of this vetting, so they're already going through this. This is the reason their appointment cancelled late last year as well, right? So all of these, so it's going to just add more delays. That's the key message that's happened this week. The other one is the biggest update is, okay, H1B, H4 visa stamping slots. We haven't got these in a really long time. So it started actually coming up from last week. So we did a poll with our community. We have a group of about 85,000 or 80,000 plus, Telegram group that we actually have where, there's a lot of visa related things happening. So in that, we ran a poll and, basically H1B, H4 visa slots were opened. We see people communicating pretty actively during the time. And it was actually on April 3rd between 8:30 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. That's when it was open. And they're pretty much gone within an hour or less than an hour, I would say, right? And about 15% of the people who we surveyed were able to book, out of 577 people who were part of the group, about 87%. So the odds are, like technically, there's so many people looking for these appointment slots. So it's very hard to get them. And many couldn't book on time. Many people saw that and they were, by the time they checked. So I guess, it's pretty similar last week also. There was some slot that came up around the same time. So keep an eye if you're looking for an appointment as well, because many of you maybe, or some of you rather, I would say, maybe stuck in India or stuck in your home country trying to come back, right? So this could be an opportunity for you to look for that. So that's why, this is something to be aware, because there have been no slots that were open in the last month or two, and people have been really choked, because of this thing. So this is one good news. Something's happening. Now, the other big update is USA has released a press release on March 30th. Basically, I would say not something totally new, but they're just giving an update on their strengthening and screening and vetting processes overall for across the US immigration processes, right? So this is essentially telling that, what are the things that Trump administration has done in the last year or so, to make sure that there is more vetting for applicants, right? So they've shortened the EAD validity periods. There is more biometric verification, and there is also more vetting that is being done for social media for stamping, and they launched the Operation Paris. The system connectivity for automatic biometric match alerts. So they did, some of these CCD things and all of that, which are, but the overall, the summary, what it means for our community of users, right, who are H1Bs and H4s, L1s, all of these employment-based applicants, right? So you can expect to see longer processing times, right? Because all of these extra vettings, all of the policies that have been rolled out will translate to, more delays. That's what it is. And you can face more background checks when you're applying for perms or I-485s and all of that, because there is also 39 countries that are under this ban and all of that, right? So the shortened EAD validity means that there is more renewals. There is also biometric appointments that are coming up now. So all of these are basically more and more challenges or delays, right, in the overall employment based arena of things, right? And also there is a country specific risk analysis that they do for all of that. So what it means is you just need to ensure that you carry all your documents and be prepared for the timelines and be prepared for RFEs, and so that you basically do this, right, things on time so that you don't miss. So this will apply for all of the pending and future applications. Again, this is like something they've been doing for a while. It's just that they summarize the whole thing, telling that like an update, like what they've been doing for the last year and what are the changes to the policies and all of that. So that's the kind of an official update. So just to reiterate something that happened last week, this is very, very important. If you haven't, do watch the other video that we've done on this. Department of Labor published a proposed rule changing the H1B and perm wage levels. So the big changes here are, if you're a level one wage person, currently the salary is picked up at 17th percentile. This is on the, typical, the wage system that is currently used for perm as well as H1Bs and all of that, right? So that's being moved to from 17th to 34th, level 2 from 34th to 52nd, level 3 from 50th percentile to 70th, and level from 67th to 80th. So what it translates in terms of numbers is, for a level 1 person, the minimum salary is going up by 33%, level 2 24%, level 3 21%, and level 4 22%. So these are significant jumps in salaries. Let's say whatever you're currently paid, whenever you are going to renew your H1Bs or are applying for perm, these new changes will be implemented, and you'll be subject to that. So one important thing is, again, this is in a proposed rule stage. It's not final. So currently it's going through something called a 60-day comment period. So this is what they proposed. So there'll be like 60-day period after that, and all of this thing will finalize. So we'll keep you posted how this goes. Do stay tuned for what's coming up and what's the final. We plan to do more videos on this, so that you can get a sense of it, so that you can do planning. This is actually a big change, right? So that's what it is. So just to summarize the key takeaways on the immigration updates from this week. So the lottery is done for 2027. All employees were notified. So if you haven't heard, unfortunately, you are not picked. You need to plan for your options, right? The second one is social media vetting is expanded to 14 visa types, is actually effective from March 30th, which is this week. The third one is basically the H1B, H4 visa slots were opened on April 3rd, and only about 15% of the people who are part of our communities were able to book. So that tells that sense of urgency and how many people are looking at it. So look at that. And the USA has released an official update, press release saying their overall policy changes for strengthened vetting and all of that, whatever things they're doing around that. So again, what it means for us is there'll be a lot more processing delays and all of that. And last week, DOL proposed a change to the wage levels, that would probably increase anywhere from 21 to 33%. So that's the big change. So all of these are changes from this week. Again, thank you for taking the time to watch this. Do subscribe for getting regular updates.